Hey, shalom, you guys. How are you guys doing today? My name is Denon for those who are new, and this is the channel is the Path of Yahweh. And today we are going over patience. We will be going over the book of Job and experiencing through reading the book of Job what patience really looks like. So let's open our Bibles up to Job chapter 1, and we'll be reading 3 chapters today. Job chapter 1. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and straight, and one who revered El, and turned aside from evil. And 7 sons and 3 daughters were born to him, and his possessions were 7,000 sheep, and 3,000 camels, and 500 yokes of oxen, and 500 female donkeys, and a very large body of servants, so that this man was the greatest of all the people of the east. And his name went and his sons went and had a feast in the house of each on his day, and sent and invited their 3 sisters to eat and to drink with them. And it came to be, when the days of feasting had gone around, that Job would send and kadosh them, and he would rise early in the morning and offer burnt offerings, the number of them all. For Job said, it might be that my sons have sinned and cursed El in their hearts. This Job always did. And the day came to be that the sons of El came to present themselves before Yahweh. And Satan also came among them. And Yahweh said to Satan, from where do you come? And Satan answered Yahweh and said, from diligently searching in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And Yahweh said to Hashatan, or Satan, Hashatan is the Hebrew, by the way. I'm probably gonna, as reading this, I'm probably gonna refer to him more as Hashatan than Satan, but Hashatan is Hebrew. And Yahweh said to Hashatan, have you considered my servant Job, or Job, that there is none like him on the earth, a perfect and straight man, one who reveres El and turns aside from evil? And Hashatan answered Yahweh and said, is Job revering El for naught? Have you not made a hedge around him, and around his household, and around all that he has on every side? You have blessed the works of his hand, and his possessions have increased in the land. But stretch out your hand, please, and strike all that he has, if he would not curse you to your face. And Yahweh said to Hashatan, see, all that he has is in your hands, only do not lay a hand on himself. And Hashatan went out from the presence of Yahweh. And the day came to be, when his sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in the house of their brothers, the firstborn. And a messenger came to Job and said, the oxen were plowing, and the donkeys feeding alongside them, and Sheba fell upon them and took them away. And they smote the servants with the edge of the sword, and I alone have escaped to inform you. While he was still speaking, another also came and said, the fire of El fell upon the Shamayim, and burned up the sheep and the servants, and consumed them, and I alone have escaped to inform you. While he was still speaking, another also came and said, the Cadites formed 3 bands, and made a raid on the camels, and took them away, And they smote the servants with the edge of the sword, and I alone have escaped to inform you. While he was still speaking, another also came and said, Your sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in the house of their brother the firstborn. And see, a great wind came from the wilderness and struck the four corners of the house, and it fell on the young men, and they were dead, and I alone have escaped to inform you. Then Job rose up and bore his robe and shaved his head, and he fell to the ground and did obedience. And he said, Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I return there. Yahweh has given, and Yahweh has taken away. Blessed be the name of Yahweh. In all this Job did not sin, nor ascribe wickedness unto El. So, in this chapter, we find out that Job was a very blessed man. He was blessed with camels, blessed with various livestock. He had 7 sons. I think it was 3 daughters. Yeah, 3 daughters. And 7,000 sheep and 3,000 camels and 500 yokes of oxen and 500 female female donkeys and a very large body of servants. He was very blessed, abundantly. And, well, a day came where all of the males, because in Torah it mentions 3 feast days, that all the males have to present themselves to the Father. Sukkot is one of them. I'm not 100% certain. I didn't write them down. I didn't take notes, so I couldn't tell you right now the other 2. But I want to say, what was it? I don't want to say Passover, but Shavuot is one. So it's Shavuot, Sukkot, and there's another one I can't remember. I'll have to go back in scripture and read it. But there's 3 times a year that all males have to present themselves to Yahweh. And that includes Hashatan himself. And Hashatan is just a title, by the way. That's not his actual name. There was several messengers that chose to leave heaven and fall to earth. Well, he presented himself to the Father, and Yah said, What have you been doing? Where have you been? Satan basically said, trying to get as many people as I can, traveling all through the world, all through the earth, trying to find people. Not to say the whole thing, but Yahweh basically put Job in Satan's hands, said that he is not going to curse his name. And Satan's like, he will. So he was like, okay, you could test him, but do not take his life. You cannot do anything to him personally, like his being. So he had a group of people take the donkey or take the sheep. No, he didn't take the sheep. It was because the sheep was burnt up. Took the camels and the donkeys. they were all of his kids were at one of their brother's house, and the house fell upon them. They all died. So Job left or lost everything in one day. And the very important thing about this chapter is right here at the end. In all this, Job did not sin, nor ascribe wickedness unto El. So he did not blame any of it on Yahweh. Let's continue to chapter 2. Again, the day came to be that the sons of El came to present themselves before Yahweh, and present themselves. Okay, and again, the day came to be that the sons of El came to present themselves before Yahweh, and Hashatan also came among them to present himself before Yahweh. And Yahweh said to Hashatan, "From where do you come?" And Hashatan answered Yahweh and said, "From diligently searching in the earth, and from walking up and down in it." And Yahweh said to Hashatan, "Have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on the earth, a perfect and straight man, one who reveres El, and turn aside from evil? And still he holds fast to his integrity. And although you inscribe me against him to destroy him without cause." And Hashatan answered, "What's wrong with this stupid acting weird?" But okay. And Hashatan answered Yahweh and said, "Skin for skin, and all that a man has he would give for his life. But stretch out your hand, please, and strike his bone and his flesh, if he would not curse you to your face." And Yahweh said to Hashatan, "See, he is in your hand. Only spare his life." And Hashatan went out from the presence of Yahweh and smote Job with loathsome sores from the sole of his foot to the crown of his head. And he took a potsherd with which he scraped himself while he sat in the midst of the ashes. And his wife said to him, "Do you still hold fast to your integrity? Curse El and die." But he said to her, "You speak as one of the foolish women speaks. Indeed, should we accept good from El and not accept evil?" In all this, Job did not sin with his lips. And three of the friends of Job heard of all the evils that came on him, and each one came from his own place. Eliphaz the Temanite, and Bildad the Shuhite, and Sephar the Naamathite. And they met together to come to Shephatize. No, I'm so weird. I'm so dumb. Sympathize. I don't know why I was having a problem with that. And they met together to come to sympathize with him and to comfort him. And they lifted up their eyes from a distance and did not recognize him. And they lifted their voice and wept. And each one tore his robe and sprinkled dust on his head toward the Shamayim. Then they sat down with him on the ground 7 days and 7 nights, and no one spoke a word to him, for they saw that The pain was very great. So after everything that Satan did to him, Satan presented himself back to the Father. Yahweh said, "Have you seen my servant Job? How he is straight in his ways. He hasn't cursed me. He hasn't done anything that you said he was going to do." And Satan was like, "Okay, strike his bones. Allow him to suffer plagues and diseases to his own flesh. And then he will curse you." Yahweh was like, "Okay, just do not take his life." Well, Satan left. He struck Job with boils from the tip of the crown of his head to the soles of his feet. Job was suffering bad with various plagues, but he still did not curse Yah. And his wife came to him. And this is something I want to point out. His wife came to him and said, "Do you still hold fast to your integrity? Curse Yah and die. Curse El and die." And he basically called her a foolish woman, a stupid woman, and said, "Do we take the blessings and not the cursings? Do we take the good things and not the bad things?" So he still held fast to his belief and his integrity and did not curse Yah. And he sat there in the ashes, and his 3 friends from a distance saw him, because they were coming together because they heard about what happened to him. And they came from their place, from their different countries and different areas, and they met to come and sympathize with Job. Well, as they were walking up, they saw him from a distance, and they couldn't even recognize him on how bad it was. And they mourned for Job, and they mourned for him for, I think it was 7 days and 7 nights. They sat there, didn't even say a word, just sat there and mourned with him. Chapter 3. After this, Job opened his mouth and cursed the day of his birth. And Job spoke and said, "Let the day perish on which I was born." In the night it was said, "A male child has been conceived." Let that day be darkness. Let not El from above seek for it, nor let light shine upon it. Let darkness and the shadow of death buy it back. Let a cloud dwell on it. Let all that blackens the day frighten it. That night let darkness seize it. Let it not be included among the days of the year. Let it not come into the number of the months. Look, let that night be silent. Let no one singing come into it. Let those curse it, whose curse the day. Who curse the day? Who are ready to stir up Leviathan? Let the stars of the twilight be dark. Let it wait for light, but have none. And let it not see the eyelashes of the dawn. For it did not shut up the doors of my body, nor hide trouble from my eyes. Why did I not lie from the womb? Why did I not die from the womb? Come forth from the body and expire. Why were there Why were there knees to receive me, or breast for me to nurse on? For now I would have been lying in peace. I would have slept. Then I would have been at rest with sovereigns and counselors of the earth, who built ruins for themselves, or with rulers who had gold, who filled their houses with silver, or as a hidden untimely birth, as infants who never saw light. There the wicked cease raging, and there the weary are at rest. The prisoners rest together. They do not hear the voice of the oppressor. The small and the great are there, and the servant is free from his master. Why does he give light to the sufferer and life to the bitter of being, who are waiting for death, but it does not come, and search for it more than treasures, who rejoices exceedingly, they are glad when they find the grave? Why does he give light to a man whose way has been hidden, and whom El has hedged in? For my sighing comes before I eat, and my groaning pours out like water. For that which I greatly feared has come upon me, and that which I dreaded has overtaken me. I have not been at ease, nor have I been unpunished, nor been at rest, yet trouble comes. Undisturbed. I read that wrong. Verse 26. I have not been at ease, nor have I been undisturbed, nor been at rest, yet trouble comes. So, in this chapter, after his friends have sat with him for 7 days, he finally opens his mouth. And what comes out of his mouth is not cursing the Father. He never once curses the Father. He never once says anything harsh, really, to the Father himself. But he was cursing the day of his birth. He got so frustrated and so just tired of everything. He said, "Woe is me." He said, let the day that they say a man is conceived, let that be darkness. I mean, he was very depressed, as he rightfully should have been. I mean, everything was taken from him like that. But he never once cursed Yah. He was patient till the end. He just waited. He crawled and he continued to pray and worship Yah daily. And he never once gave up. And I'm sure there was times that he really wanted to, but he didn't. But that's all I got for you guys today. I love you guys, and I thank you guys for hearing me out till the end and watching these videos. And I pray that Yahweh blesses you and guides you abundantly. Shalom, shalom. Until next time.